For pretty much as long as media has existed, a fitness industry has also existed, selling you on the promise that if someone can get a beautiful physique, that by following their methods, you too can look exactly like them. You know, it started a long time ago with probably like magazines centered around fitness and nutrition. Obviously, you move towards the 80s, you have the golden era of bodybuilding. You have people like Arnold Schwarzenegger who became giant, massive stars on their physiques almost alone. And even today, there is so many social media fitness influencers, all in different realms, but pretty much doing the same thing, selling you on something, whether that's a program, a supplement system, something that's going to guarantee you results as long as you follow everything to a T. And it's probably no surprise to you, some of them fucking lied. There's no other way around it. Some of them lie to get to that point. Obviously, the rise of social media has dramatically expanded the reach that these social media influencers have, and it's inescapable. You go on Instagram, you go on TikTok, YouTube, they're absolutely everywhere on everything. I can't even imagine how much money the fitness industry is worth now, feeding on people's insecurities and their hopes and their dreams. Hell, mine, I fall for it all the time. Building massive audiences based just around diets and workout programs and supplementation, to the point where these influencers themselves basically become celebrities. Now, the ethics around whether they should be celebrities is a whole other conversation, but I want to talk about the ones specifically that have lied. Ones that have put out what I would say is unfavorable messaging to the fitness and nutrition world, whether that was through misleading their audiences, straight up just presenting wrong information, just people who should probably be held more accountable for their actions in the industry, because they were giant figures presenting certain messages that could be what I believe super harmful, especially to people who are super impressionable, kind of like me when I was bigger. And I feel like one of the biggest culprits in this is the Liver King. I don't even think you have to be chronically on the internet to have heard of the Liver King, but just in case you haven't, the Liver King was this oddly red, always shirtless, just kind of being that was running around talking about the ancestral tenets. Basically, his message was straightforward. Society has become weak due to the advent of super stupid things like medicine and shelter and intelligence. Those things have led to a weak society, and the only way we can get back to being strong, tough men is through following the ancestral tenets, whatever the fuck that means. Basically, what it meant was like, you gotta exercise super intense, put yourself through hardships like cold plunges, because you know, the best person you know is they're right about cold plunges, because cold plunges always seem to be like the worst type of person possible doing it every time. You get plenty of sunlight, but his big kind of like identity was his diet, because his diet consisted pretty much of eating raw animal organs just all the time. Seriously, it's all he apparently ate. There are countless videos of him straight up mukbanking on bull testicles, bull dick, liver, obviously because his name was Liver King. And he truly preached out that eating all those raw organs is what brought him to his primal, I use that term very loosely here, physique. And essentially he established himself as like a symbol of masculinity and health. Now, obviously, if you look at him, first off, looks double his age, just anytime you look at him. Not sure what he looks like today. I know today he's just gone insane pretty much. But at the time of his prominence, he was always super red. His abs looked so undeniably fake that there was constantly rumors about whether they were fake. And I don't know if he addressed them. I think he addressed them on Impulsive one time, but I wasn't there for that. In life personality, it genuinely led to him kind of getting super high in popularity. People were really resonating with the message. Like, yeah, you know what? Maybe it is just a group effort we have to do as a society to bring us back to that kind of primal urge to kind of regain that masculinity. I mean, it really is just like toxic masculinity wearing a veil. It's pretty much what it came down to. It was so Joe Rogan slanted that it just got completely eaten up by the wrong people. But hey, whatever works for those people, this is the funnel they were down. So obviously, naturally, as people do, people were accusing him of being on steroids. His physique was insane. His aging looked like it was doubling the speed of a normal human being. And he was just always red and just crazy. So yeah, people were like, dude, you're on steroids. Now he just like as loudly as possible was like, no, I'm not on steroids. It's the bull dick I'm eating. That's why I'm jacked. You're out there eating your cottage cheese, sweet potato, ground beef, avocado bowls with honey. You're a loser. Eat pee-pee from a bowl. That's going to get you jacked. I mean, that's pretty much what every video he posted was. So yeah, he denied steroids like crazy. But no amount of denial was going to have people just let up on it. People persistently asked him whether or not, and were going out of their way to try to prove it. And then finally, pretty much it happened. There's a YouTube creator known as More Plates, More Dates, and he published leaked emails that were pretty much from the Liver King talking to his doctor about the amount of steroids that he was taking. Turns out not only was he taking steroids, which goes against his whole just persona of eating pee-pee from a bowl and liver, turns out he was spending $11,000 a month on steroids. $11,000 a month is more than I even make in general for all of my expenses, let alone just for steroids. Now, many people like myself, when I saw that, I went, how the fuck is he even afford that? Like, what's he actually do for a living? He sells a supplement. Of course he does. Well, it turns out he understood that it was pretty not feasible to tell people, hey, go source bull organs and eat that, because the cost of even just finding it, maintaining it, and just having it is kind of absurd. So naturally, he was like, well, we can bypass that and I can show you a shortcut: supplements. He had a supplementation company that he basically said did the same thing as eating the bull organs. You can replicate his diet through his supplements, vetted by him, tested to whatever he says it was tested to. That was his claim. Now, I'm not a scientist. This is not in any way medical or legal advice of any sort. So I have no idea if that's true. But on the surface level, I'm going to assume it's not. There's no way you're telling me you're condensing an entire bowl into some pills. Can't imagine it. I don't know if he was taking his own supplements. I have a feeling he wasn't. Maybe I'm wrong. But at this point, it doesn't even matter. He got caught lying about steroids. He was spending $11,000 on it every month. And he pretty much had to come out and be like, yeah, you're right. My bad. I was doing that, which is awesome. Obviously, this was a massive victory for critics, or pretty much for anyone who was unemployed, because who the fuck really cared that much about this? I see on a guy on the internet who's jacked and he's like, hey, I don't take steroids. And then people found out that he took steroids. I'd be like, yeah, we knew that. Let's move on with the day. But you know, he apologized. He tried taking accountability however he could. And he's like still around. Granted, I have no idea what he's up to recently. I'm pretty sure he's like gone insane. He was like trying to kill like Joe Rogan's just entire family. I could be wrong about that. I have no idea. I didn't actually look into it. But I feel like that entire scandal really broke down the ethos of what's wrong with the fitness industry. That just about anybody with a larger than life personality can just kind of swoop in, say a couple things, make it really flashy, and all of a sudden they're rich selling you on a fucking supplement, because all these people are essentially snake oil salesmen. But if you've been on the internet as long as I have, you'd remember that before Liver King, the most famous kind of snake oil salesman in the fitness industry is V-Shred. Now, before I talk about V-Shred, yes, I'm aware of all the Scotty K stuff. Yes, I'm aware that the comments are now pro V-Shred. We're going to ignore that. Let's just keep talking about this. By the way, diet caffeine-free Pepsi. That's how you know you're in the cut. So V-Shred is a mastermind of marketing. Pretty much anyone on the internet from like I'd say even mid-2000s, which I think is when I first saw it, to today, has likely been exposed to a V-Shred commercial. The perfect marketing for a fitness influencer. Here it is, this pretty guy, great physique, speaking about fitness in very simple terms. All his commercials, I remember, they talked about like, you can eat whatever you want as long as you follow this. They always talk about body types. It was like mesomorph, other bullshit. Pretty much he broke down fitness into a very simple science. And everybody knows that when you're getting into weight loss specifically, it feels overwhelming and complicated. So someone coming in and giving it to you in very simple terms, fucking what better? And that's probably why he blew up. That, and he had a gigantic marketing machine behind him, but you know, whatever. So V-Shred was founded by a guy named Vince Sant, and he very quickly became one of the most recognizable fitness brands in the entire world, putting marketing campaigns across just about every single social media platform there is. Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, everything. He was everywhere. The reason it was so appealing is because it kind of advertised customized fitness approaches to every individual with a very simple onboarding process. Take this simple quiz, we send you information, boom, fat's just gonna start melting off. I mean, dude, even when I was young, I took one of those bullshit quizzes, and I'm a fucking idiot. I took this quiz and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get hot. Obviously not. So obviously, as the company expanded, actual fitness experts immediately and rightfully criticized V-Shred's approach, basically saying that it's completely oversimplified and it makes no sense in trying to have like comprehensive foundational understanding about fitness and nutrition, because everyone is different. Everyone has variables in their life. Everyone loses fat differently. Everyone has different amounts of fat to lose and all these things. And people have different goals. You can't just like take a quiz and put every human being in a category. Just not at all how it works. I'd say for every but V-Shred's like a fucking Hydra. For every one video of a fitness influencer being like, hey, this guy's complete bullshit, don't listen to him, V-Shred's pumping out like 10 more videos to the masses. Dude's a machine. And it kind of proved that marketing is stronger than any science or information. I can come out with a video with absolute undeniable facts about fitness and nutrition. Here comes one guy hotter than me. Yep, fuck me. He's beating me in the battle. He's pumping out more videos, more content, more marketing. It's going to win every time. That's why like political campaigns are like so expensive, but that's a whole other conversation. Now, it wasn't always the fact that like Vishay was necessarily lying about some of the information. Some of the information that he mentioned had some veil of truth, as is constantly the case. But it's more so the fact that his marketing had much more kind of fear mongering attached to it. And when you fear monger in your marketing, you create a bad precedent, because it basically says that like you're doing things wrong and you should be horrified of those results. Everybody's different, because it goes into this weird thing. You have someone like that coming out and saying, technically I'm not lying. And that's technically true. But where's the morality behind being kind of misleading? Because you might not be lying about the information that you're putting out there. But if you're telling someone, hey, I can help you lose weight, just answer this quiz, buy my program, and you're guaranteed results, maybe. Foundationally, some of those things might lead to results, but did they have to spend the money and take the quiz to get the same results? Couldn't they have just simply done their own research and learned about their own body in their own way without having to pay you some type of money for marketing? Because of course, all this stuff is multi-leveled. It starts with a program, then it's supplementation, then you're buying a diet plan, then you're buying this, then you're buying that. It starts to become less about you learning your fitness and nutrition and more about you fucking loading this guy's pockets. And I hate it too. I actually looked up his profile recently, and he posts like just like normal content with his girlfriend, and it's like kind of likable. Like, brother, don't make me like you. You're an asshole. You're a hot asshole. You're a hot asshole. I don't want to like you at all. Now, it's not always like super celebrity. In this world, like I mentioned earlier, there's so many fitness influencers, very prominent across every social media. And something that becomes a highly toxic topic is the topic of a fake natty. Basically, a fake natty is somebody who pretends to be natural, so not using any sort of enhancement for their physique to reach their physique. Now, depending on what part of the fitness spectrum you're in, this might not be a problem at all. Some people are just like, whatever, they use steroids, they don't, who cares? Depends, because there's a certain morality involved. Let's say you come across someone who is absolutely stunning, beautiful physique, Arnold-esque physique, and they tell you, I achieved this naturally. I didn't do anything to my body that is unethical or illegal. This is hard work and dieting. And then you come across someone else who straight up admits it. Yeah, I did all these things to my body. I take steroids, I take meth, cocaine, whatever you want to say. Obviously, most people are going to listen to the advice of the predeemed natural athlete. But the problem with that is that trust can then be exploited, because that natural athlete might not be speaking to everything he's doing. Maybe he's not necessarily taking steroids, but he's taking things like TRT, peptides, has access to certain supplements, whatever the case may be, or very low dosage steroids. I don't know, right? Like a little, just a tiny bit, a little smidget of steroids. But the point is that they might be able to exploit that trust from you, because they might say, well, I didn't take steroids to take this physique. I actually took this supplement, this all natural supplement. And this supplement I actually have a partnership with. And if you use my code, I'll get you a discount. Now, you might think this is harmless. You get a supplement you like, you get to save money. That discount code goes to this creator that you want to support. That support is great. And who knows, they get enough support from enough people, they draw the attention of even bigger companies who want to do a similar deal for them. You see how this starts to expand and be really, really good for that creator. But what you might not know is that, again, they were deceiving you. Turns out they did kind of cheat to get their physique. And in order to achieve their physique, which is probably the reason that you're following them because you want to look like them, they needed to do extra things. And those are extra things you don't have access to, or you're not willing to do, or is illegal to do. And now all you've done is help grow the career of this person who exploited your trust. You're getting the wrong information and the wrong path to their physique. So you've now invested your money, invested your time, invested your trust for what? For nothing. Because they lied to you. A highly developed physique can attract followers. Followers can attract sponsorships. Sponsorships attract money. People are incentivized to lie because they understand that by the general public consensus, people don't like a cheater. It's like one of the biggest things ever. Olympics, American sports, no one likes a cheater. Even ones that perform well. You use like Barry Bonds, for example. Barry Bonds was a really exciting player to watch. Baseball is supposed to be an entertaining. I think baseball is actually boring, to be honest with you. But baseball is supposed to be entertaining for most people. Which means theoretically, if you're watching someone who is good at the game, therefore it's more fun to watch them, you would equate that to being overall positive. But the moment you find out that they cheated, all that goes out the window, because for whatever reason, well, probably for good reason, I realize I'm painting it as a negative, but for whatever reason, we care a lot more about the integrity of things like sports and physics and athletes than we care more about their entertainment value. Conor McGregor was one of the most popular fighters of all time. He's basically the face of the sport for most casual fans. But if more people read about the fact that he took most likely some type of steroid in order to heal from his injuries, his stock would go dramatically down, no matter what. Its integrity is like the biggest thing when it comes to athletes. And that same exact thing applies in physiques online, which is why fake natties are a thing. People who are willing to lie and say that their own hard work got them there, their own brains, their smarts got them there, and unwilling to say that perhaps they had some assistance. And the fucked up part is that like steroids doesn't just automatically give you muscle. You still have to put in a lot of work. You still have to put in a lot of dedication to your workout, to your diet. It's an entire lifestyle. But a casual watcher or listener does not care, nor do they really understand. All they hear is, you had help, fuck you, you're a loser. And that's that. And it only gets worse the more they deny it. You'll have these guys get accused more and more and more, and they just cannot let it go. So they'll deny until they're outed like the Liver King. And that's it. That just becomes the end of it. They cannot do anything else about it. And really what it comes down to, the conclusion for all of this, is that you're going to get these stories all the time. You're going to see these people who are larger than life fitness influencers. And it's important for you to determine why you are following them. Because maybe there's still a takeaway. You know, I might look at a V-Shred, I don't know why you would do this, see his content and go, you know what, I don't necessarily like his entire approach, but there's certain things that are motivating me. Because you know what? There is something very vain about wanting to get fit. There is. There's obviously a litany of benefits to being physically fit, both from aesthetic reasons, for mental health reasons. There's so many benefits. I really do think it bleeds out to other things. But the initial influence can be vain. You want to look better. You want to be perceived better by people. There's nothing wrong with that. There's only something wrong with that if you take it too far and never grow out of it and learn other reasons to be fit. If it's only to make yourself look good, it probably still has a net positive, but you're still probably a douchebag, you know? So it's just important to remember that there's so many people who are incentivized in the fitness industry to lie to you